I go on and on, can't understand how I last so long. I must have superpowers, rap 225,000. This ain't a movie, dog. My name is Ho, H to the O-V. I used to by the OZ. I guess even back then you can call me CEO of the ROC. Ho, fresh out the frying pan into the fire. I be the music biz #1 supplier. Ho, not DOC, but similar to them letters. No one could do it better. I check cheddar like a food inspector. My homie Strick told me, dude, finish your breakfast. So that's what I'ma do, take you back to the dude with the Lexus. Fast forward the jewels and the necklace. Let me tell you dudes what I do to protect us. Shoot at you actors like movie directors.
Happy Halloween here on opening day. I'm Kevin Harlan along with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. Are you as ready as we are? It's the NBA on 2K Sports. Glad you could join us. And tipping off the NBA season, State Farm presents our starting lineups. First for the Spurs, Parker and Manu Ginobili, their backcourt. And in the middle, out of Brazil, taken with the 28th pick back in 2008, the 6'11 pivot man, Thiago Splitter. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in at the 4. And looking at the Hornets, Vasquez is in at the 1 with Gordon at the 2. And playing at the center position, one of the Lopez twins out of Stanford, 7-foot banger, Robin Lopez. Then there's Al Farouk Aminu, and it's Anderson in at the 4-man position.
You know, the Spurs have always been built around Tim Duncan, but the last few years they've added more depth than they used to have early in the Duncan era. And so Greg Popovich is playing 9 or 10 guys. They're very deep. They play together. Excellent passing team. And they've become much more up-tempo than they ever were early in that era.
So the Hornet, Davis, steps out on the floor, and he's got to be excited. His very first taste of playing time in an NBA game.
He's one of the players who got a ton of attention leading up to the draft, and rightfully so. He's an amazing talent.
Yeah, you know, Steve, he was high on every team's wish list. You knew somebody was going to make him a first-round draft choice, and this is it, his chance to show what he's capable of.
It's Ginobili with the drive. Can't tie it up as that one's no good. And with the team getting older, you really need to have more depth, and the Spurs have certainly added that.
Young or old, every team needs depth, but the Spurs have added the right kind of depth. The players that fit into what they do well, and it's a big part of why they still are able to compete at a high level.
Well done, finishing that one off.
Daniel Green, he's checked in for Manu Ginobili. Now let's find out what head coach Greg Popovich had to say to Doris Burke. Doris?
He said that one player he's really wary of is Anthony Davis, adding he can impact the game in so many ways. Defense, shot blocking, rebounding, and scoring. He's still adding muscle, and we've got to capitalize on that strength advantage at both ends. Kevin, that's the MO for any young player. We'll see how he stands up to it.
And as always, Doris, thank you. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Well, what a fit for Anthony Davis and the Hornets, a young team that really is building from the ground up. And Davis, I think, is a cornerstone, a future star. He can be the backbone of your defense. He's a shot blocker, but offensively, he's got a lot of skills, probably more than he actually showed at Kentucky.
Now, here's Blair, looking for his first bucket of the game. Diaw, the screen. Here's Parker. That's good.
Yeah, when you play against him, Kevin, the first thing you want to address is making it harder on him to go to work down low. If you let him get position inside, it's going to be a long night for you.
And one thing about him that might not show up in the box score, but is as important as anything else, is his leadership. I mean, he sets the tone for this team, and all of his teammates follow his example.
Here's Davis, following the score by Tony Parker. And Davis can't get it to go.
And back to Davis. You know, he has all the skills you look for in a franchise big, that's for sure. It really does seem to be the perfect fit for Davis down in the Bayou. Right
side Davis. Hits it from about 6 feet away. And so it's San Antonio with it. They trail by 1. Parker kicks to Blair. He kicks it to Green. Fires it up. And another basket for San Antonio.
Well, what can we say about Greg Popovich, guys? 16 years as an NBA head coach, all with the Spurs. He's the longest tenured of any current coach in any of the 4 major sports in North America and has had sustained success throughout that run. Absolutely remarkable stuff.
And when you talk about the long tenure of Greg Popovich, going back to Clark's comment, he's had so much success during that time. Look at the numbers: 5th all-time in winning percentage, 3rd all-time in playoff victories, and of course, the 4 NBA championships.
The Spurs making a switch here. Ginobili's checked in. Now here's Parker. Back to Ginobili. Now the dish to Blair. Blocked. And it's out of bounds. The Spurs able to retain possession here. The Spurs making a switch here. Mills is checked in. Outside, Green. He dishes it to Blair. Spurs passing it around. Gets the bucket. That's now 8 points for Ginobili. Well, Clark, we've seen the lead change hands quite a bit in this one.
Yeah, we sure have. I mean, it's been a bit of a windshield wiper game. I mean, back and forth, the lead has gone 5 times, so no one in clear control yet.
I think both teams feel like they can win. They both have confidence. So we'll see which team can kind of ride the momentum and take control of this game.
You know, Kevin, that's just him doing his thing. I mean, that's who he is, launching himself at the basket. I mean, he thrust himself at the basket. He's an angry driver and attacker of the rim.
Now here's Gordon. Davis kicks to Gordon. And again, no good by New Orleans.
Yeah, total domination on the glass by them so far.
Well, the anticipation has been outstanding, exquisite. I mean, it seems like they've got an extra sense as to know where the ball is coming off.
Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
Thomas, no luck.
He's always going to have a difficult time finishing when the defense is in his face like that.
And Mills kicks to Diaw. Kicks to Blair. Now the feed to Diaw. Pocket 6. Here's Mills. That's blocked. And they're able to recover. The second chance effort. He feeds it to Diaw. Feeds it to Ginobili.
Who's watching here?
Dishes it to Diaw. Green. The 3 is launched. Good, and it's Diaw with the assist that time. Now it's a 7-point Spurs lead. Vasquez dishes to Davis. Leads him in there. Got it off in time. And we reach the end of the first quarter. Spurs lead by... Pass to Rivers. Smith with a screen on Ginobili. Stolen by Ginobili. Now the pass to Mills. Back to Ginobili. Out of bounds. New Orleans will take possession.
Well, let's take a look at where New Orleans ended up rank-wise in the league last year.
And the first half ends in a close one.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
The Spurs.
He passes to Green. Parker. Passes to Duncan. Back to Parker. And he gets it to go from the high post. Parker's got 10 points in the quarter.
And he will punish an opponent for giving him that much room from mid-range. He'll hit that all day.
Vasquez kicks to Gordon. Over Green. And again, New Orleans has no luck.
Man, a nice job there defensively, just getting a hand up enough to bother the shot.
Yeah, that was very nice. Impressive. It made it a much more difficult shot.
The Hornets trail by 4.
You know, you look at the Hornets, and it's still a relatively new franchise. Originally in Charlotte, that's where that team started. They've only been in the league since 1988, Kevin, and they've had a lot of success in a relatively brief tenure.
Parker's shot is off.
That's very uncharacteristic for him to miss that shot with such little defensive pressure.
Vasquez passes to Davis. Knocked away. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Hornets will retain possession. With this stoppage in play, we have a chance now to show you which teams led the league in three-point percentage last year. Number 1, the Spurs.
Their long-range shooting last year was nothing short of spectacular. I mean, they were absolutely unconscious from the three-point line.
Gary Neal's checked in for San Antonio. Back to the Hornets since their formation, 1988, as you said, Clark. They've only missed out on the playoffs 12 times. That includes the first 4 years when they were just an expansion team trying to get their legs under them.
Yep.
So, Steve, not that bad a history.
No, not bad, and they're one of the better stories you can hope for if you're an expansion team. I mean, they really were amazing in Charlotte with their attendance, their appeal to that community, and now trying to build up a franchise in New Orleans with a young star in Anthony Davis.
I like the way they're working the ball inside, because when you do that, you get higher percentage shots, and typically good things happen.
Parker dishes to Leonard. Leonard sets a screen for Parker. 5 on the clock. Blair, the screen, from past the arc. Parker with another miss. The Hornets have gone a solid 6 of 11 when shooting here in the third quarter. Vasquez kicks to Gordon. He kicks to Vasquez. Tries it from 9. Another one falls for New Orleans.
And all 10 of their last points have come inside the paint, so defensively you've got to make an adjustment.
Yeah, and you got to do a little more to stop it, too. I mean, it's coming way too easy for them. At some points, you just got to buck up and say it's not going to happen.
Duncan with another miss.
Right now, he's in a bit of a funk. I'd look for them to look at other options on offense.
Anthony Davis, the number 1 overall pick in the draft, a national champion and most outstanding player of the Final Four with Kentucky, and the potential is just incredible. So skilled, so big, good kid, likes coaching, loves basketball. He's got an incredible future ahead of him.
Both teams will make substitutions. New Orleans in the lead. Right side Davis. Lobs it up there. Well-placed alley-oop pass into the layup.
The alley-oop pass right into the layup. Outstanding play that time.
Absolutely. The technique couldn't have been any better.
Bro, that's two guys who really love playing together, and it shows on that play.
Now let's send it to Doris from the sideline.
Gentlemen, Thiago Splitter improved significantly last season. Maybe most importantly, he got his free throw percentage up dramatically from 54% up close to 70%. Splitter said, "That's a big thing, and of course it's helped my confidence. You can play more aggressive, attack the rim. If you get fouled, you know you can make it. It's had a snowball effect." Kevin, the Spurs love it.
Thanks, Doris.
Well, we've seen that a lot. Confidence at the line can really translate to other areas as well.
Tracy McGrady's checked in for the Spurs. Parker comes in for Patrick Mills. And that'll be San Antonio as it goes on about. Spurs retain possession. And Clark, for Davis, the offense going to come, but, he is seen as a player who can be a franchise defensive presence. And that might be enough right there.
Well, last year in college, he averaged 5 block shots per game, the most blocks ever by an NCAA freshman, 4th overall in the history of NCAA hoops. So he's going to block shots, and he actually keeps a lot of them in bounds, so that'll impact any team he plays for, even at the NBA level.
Now here is Davis. 10 points for him. Blair on him. Davis inside. He's guarded by Blair. Can't hit from in close. Spurs trail by 4. On the left block, and that one's good. McGrady. McGrady's got his first points of the night.
Well, you look at Hornets coach Monty Williams, the youngest head coach in the NBA, was an assistant with the Blazers for 5 seasons and was a favorite with a lot of the players there. Quickly rose up the list as a candidate for a head coaching position before being hired in New Orleans back in 2010.
Parker, and he hits it to tie the game up. Parker's got 12 points here in the second half.
Looking much more comfortable out on the floor here in the second half.
Vasquez passes to Davis. Blair on him. Davis kicks to Gordon. Back to Davis. And the shot is good. Davis has got 12 in the game. And Coach Williams, a defensive-minded guy, really gets his team, Steve, to buy in at that end of the floor.
Well, when you coach under Nate McMillan, which he did, Monty Williams did in Portland, you know you're going to get a tutorial about defense and effort. And that's the way Williams really wants to be known as a coach. Tough, defensive-minded, and a guy who's going to work his tail off.
Here's Parker following the score by New Orleans. Open shot by Duncan, and Davis pulls it down.
He's not a guy they're going to be able to count on the way he's playing in this quarter.
Here's the dish to Rivers. He dishes it to Vasquez. Lets it go from deep. Rebound by Tony Parker. Parker's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
Opportunity to go 2 for 1 here if they want it.
Steve, let's see if they go for it.
Leonard kicks to McGrady. Goes back up. That one goes. Count it. McGrady's got his second bucket of the game to go. Hornets shooting it well here in the third, about 50%. 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Gordon dishes to Davis. He gets stolen by McGrady. And a fast break now for the Spurs. The feed now to Blair. Back to McGrady. Kicks it to Parker. Parker with another miss.
And little to no chance of that shot going in.
Yeah, that was a tough one right there.
We're at the end of the third, and we've... As the fourth quarter gets going, let's swing it over to Doris Burke to find out who's had the slight, uncontainable game. So we see the Hornets taking the win here. Some days, Clark, everything goes well.